Yo, 2016 has been my first year with Loot Crate, and honestly, I've been pretty satisfied with most of the items I've gotten. With this list, I just want to talk about the top 5 items I thought were the best and the top 5 items I thought were the worst of the year. With this list, I want to have a few contingencies. I'm not going to try to repeat categories of items. So if I do a shirt in my top 5 best list, I'm not going to have another shirt. If I have a figurine in that or a statue, I'm not going to have another one. So one of every category at maximum. And in addition, this is only for the main loot crates. I know, and anime, pets, DX, whatever. There's too many. So starting off with the worst list. At number 5, we have the Infinity Gauntlet Glove Oven Mitt from May. What can I say? Honestly, this could have been on the other side of the list. I thought this was really creative use of an oven mitt. I thought it had a cool design. I was like, yo, this is actually pretty creative, and I thought this was a good item. But unfortunately, when I saw some of the articles saying that people were getting burned and it was not actually working properly, that's when I thought, unfortunately, this is going to have to be on the worst list. Number 5, I have to give to Figure Fantasy from the most recent December Loot Crate box. And honestly, this one gets it for creativity. The fact that we get a full, really well-made book filled with creative uses of toys and figurines in these kooky ways that they give it, and the fact that all these images are really crisp, really well done. It has a good sense of humor. And honestly, I think it's just a better, well-made item than most of the books. They put time into this effort. It was well bounded. It's a good quality book and something that's enjoyable to look at, even if you haven't looked at all of it. With names like Simon Pegg and stuff on the cover, it's gonna get us looking. So with that, this is number 5. Back on the worst list, we have at number 4 the Uncharted poster from April. So the biggest problem with this is just how big of a disappointment and how underwhelming this is. Uncharted is one of my favorite franchises, and when I heard that's going to be in the crate, I was like, what could they do? Could they do, Drake's ring? Could they do, I don't know, some kind of shirt for it? Anything. They had a lot of options. When they went with a poster, I was kind of surprised, and I was like, it could work out. But when they give us something like this, that's just underwhelming. This is kind of the free thing they give with pre-order bonuses or something crappy like that. Unfortunately, first of all, this poster is just really underwhelming in design. It's very boring, it's really generic, and it's really just kind of ugly. And second of all, it's so small. I don't even know where this could be hung up. I mean, there's not many options. If they're gonna bother giving a poster, at least give it a decent size, give it a creative design. But when they just use the most underwhelming design, ugly brown, and just I am the man of fortune and must see my future. Come on, that's a little much for Uncharted. So with that, that's number 4. At number 4 on the best list, I want to give it to the Shenron plushie from May. Now, honorable mention goes out to the Facehugger plushie from January and that the one from the horror box. But honestly, I think this was the best looking plushie. And maybe it's because I'm a DBZ fan, but whatever. It just is a really cool design. It has Shenron and Dragon Ball. It's really iconic. It's very nice. It actually could stand up on its own, so you can hang it over. You can put it on a shelf and it won't fall over like the other ones. You can clip it onto your book bag or whatever. Honestly, it just had a cool design. I liked it, and I think it was the best plushie that we got this year. Yeah. Number 3 on the worst list has to go to the Batman v Superman paper wallet. Honestly, I don't really know what was going for here. First of all, the design is just ugly. It feels cheap. It's ugly. Its design is just a few little pockets. There's not really anywhere to easily put in your money except for this little holes here. This is just a really crappy design. And when I saw we had a Versus crate in March, I was like, yo, Batman v Superman's coming out. Obviously, let's just get some cool items. And I thought that was going to be most of the items, or at least the biggest one. And when they just threw in a little paper wallet that, honestly, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but when I got it that first month, it smelled so bad. And I don't know. It just seems terrible. If you actually take this out in public and this is where you're getting money on, it's not doing you any service. And it's just a really disappointing one, considering that they could have done something really cool for Batman v Superman. For number 3 on the best, I'll be honest, I don't love many of the Loot Crate shirts. I think a few of them are, cool in design. A few of them are alright. And a few of them just look ugly and you wouldn't wear in public much. With that being said, there has been one that I liked a lot, and it is the Warcraft shirt from May. So the thing about this shirt is just the design really is just, it's simple, but it's cool looking. The problem with a lot of the shirts is they try to put too much. They try to be like too, whoa. I mean, they're creative somewhat, but also they have like a weak design or lame or they're a little too much. They're a little too like mediocre design. Something very minimalist like this, something that has literally two colors, and it's they show like they show one of the orcs and they show like a human inside in just the simplest color coming out around the time of the movie. And I'm not honestly a big Warcraft fan. Honestly, I know nothing about Warcraft, but I just thought the design was cool and it was simple and something I'd actually wear in public instead of just like sleeping in. So number 2 on the worst list has to be the T2 metal sheet, because like, what is this? What is this? I don't know. This is truly just a really mediocre item. I know it wasn't like the forerunner of that crate, but like, what? It's just a piece of metal. I mean, if there's a way to hang this up, if there was a way to display it or something, maybe, but it's just not even anything. It's literally a piece of like cheap metal with Terminator. And I get it. Yeah, Terminators are made of metal. Whoa. But like, you could have done more with this. You can make it something to hang up or somewhere, I don't know, maybe a magnet or something, a sticker, something. But it was just like, why? It's just such a weak design. It's so mediocre. It's just, I don't know. I think it was just a waste. So with that, it's the number 2 worst of the year. So for the second best, I have to go with a figurine for this one, or a statue, and it's the Deadpool one from the February Loot Crate. There's a few other good ones. The Hulk one, the Doctor Strange one, the Harley Quinn one, those are all really cool like statues and very good for display. But honestly, I think this one just is the best. And not just because it was Deadpool and it came out the same month and it was really good, marketing for the movie. But it just has the coolest design. It's the most creative one. The Hulk one, he's smashing some ground and stuff like that. Doctor Strange one, he's holding up, his magic sign or whatever. It's stuff. But like, I don't know. This is something with Deadpool where you have the flames on the end. You see the smoke there. You see him holding both his katanas and just in a stupid position. It's just, I don't know. It just looks really cool. And I think it was a lot of fun. And I think this is just like the nicest one to display. So that's why I had it at number 2 on the best list. Number 1 on the worst list has to be the Matrix puzzle. Now, this puzzle was just terrible. This is like awful. I'm not sure if anyone even bothered opening this up, but if you did, you'd see that this is the most underwhelming puzzle ever. When I saw this, I was like, cool, puzzle. That's a kind of creative design, and I like it, I like the fact that, you got a puzzle. I mean, it's 300 pieces. It's like a decent size where you can spend a little bit of time doing it, but like, oh man, this was a disappointing item. First of all, the image, as you can see on the sides or any of the sides, it's all black. Maybe it looks a little bit greenish here and everything. I know the movie's like a dark green tint and everything, but no, like when you open up the puzzle, almost every piece is just pure black and there's no way to put them together. Second of all, these are the cheapest, crappiest pieces I've ever seen. Back in like McDonald's Happy Meals where they give you like this, as a toy or whatever, like a puzzle like this, they have better quality. This quality is just so cheap and it feels so bad. When you try to put any of the pieces together, they don't really fit and nothing fits well. And the fact that everything's already black, it doesn't help at all. And half the pieces already come stuck together. It's just, I tried to do this one day and it took me 5 minutes before I realized like this is not even worth anyone's time, because it was just horrible and just really poorly put this together. Good idea. I wish they actually, put a little more effort, or maybe it was a manufacturing thing, whatever, but the puzzle was just really poorly designed, poor image, poorly made, and it is by far my least favorite item of 2016 in the loot. For the best, I just want to throw out an honorable mention to the Predator figurine from March. I think this was probably the best like figurine like movement. I'm just calling figurines the ones that kind of like move a little bit versus like the Deadpool one, which is static. I think it just had a cool design. It had a lot of detail into it. I know the Xenomorph was the other half of it. I got the Predator one, but I don't know. It had like, had the little like javelin that came out. Fortunately, my one came with its arm broken off, and it took a long time to get it back in. But regardless, there's a lot of design to it. Some of the other figurines were cool as well. The Fallout one was cute and everything, but I think this was the best of figurines. So I think it's definitely worth an honorable mention. It probably would have been like number 6 on my list. So number 1 on my best list is the Punisher and Daredevil beanie. I don't know, maybe I'm a big beanie fan, but I thought this was just the coolest looking design, coolest looking item, the one I've used the most out of everything that I got into loot crates. The fact that it was just very simple. It came out around the time that Daredevil season 2 was out, and I don't know, they just had a well-made beanie. A lot of the shirts feel cheap. A lot of the clothing, socks, like they're cool and everything in design, but they just feel cheap. This one's feels really comfortable. It's really warm, and the fact that it came out around winter really helped. Everyone I've worn this around, like regardless of if they recognize the logos or anything, thought it actually just has a cool design. And that's what I realized. Same thing with the shirt. The designs that honestly work the best are like the simple ones, and the fact that it was reversible was even better. It just had a cool design. I used it a lot. I think it was like something you could wear most out in public versus a lot of the shirts that are a little like eh. And it was just useful and I liked it a lot. So I think this was my favorite item in the 2016 Loot Crate. With that being said, that is my list for the top 5 best and the top 5 worst Loot Crate items of 2016. What did you think? Do you think like everything I said was wrong? Because like honestly, it may be. I might not have the greatest opinion. Or do you think I had a lot right? I missed a few. Or do you think other ones deserve to be on this list, or at least had an honorable mention? Let me know. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see more of stuff like this and me and just all this goodness, then subscribe for more. And thanks again. See you next time.